So in today's video, we're going to talk about the lower lows that Bitcoin looks likely to make. I want to explain what to do next. If you're new, subscribe. Why? There's my channel. I do videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I also do extra videos on my Patreon. I do lives on my Patreon as well on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much Friday. I don't tend to do a video that much. But also on Learning Crypto, which is educational, I also do videos on there too. So there's a lot of me around. Make sure you pick whatever one suits you. Now, comments first before I go anywhere. Reason being, YouTube has changed a few things. So in the settings now, I'm going to make it so I have put all comments for review. So this means that I will see them first. I will select which ones go on. All of them, all the legit ones will go on. And ultimately the scam ones will not get posted. So I'm hoping that makes it a better experience for you. Anyways, a few days ago, on the 12th of April, I was saying about BTC. If we fail to capture this section, we will probably go even lower, and we have still been trickling lower, right? But the element is we've actually created a new low from this point, which is kind of important of this video metric. Now, start of April, I was saying, oh, look at this. Usually April's a good month for crypto. That old chestnut of, oh, look at this, everyone wants the same thing, it's not going to happen sort of mentality, whereas that kind of happens. Altcoins as well. Altcoins is historically very good in April. It's not really happened, has it, realistically? So we need to look at that. We need to think, right, what happens next? And yeah, the market doesn't look good. The dollar is incredibly strong, and we will talk about that in a bit. Now, BTC. Weekly time frames, right? As you can see, big clanger, bear with me. Big clanger candle. We've already developing a horrible one, right? We're already below where this previous week closed, as I mentioned before. We're creating a new lower low on the lower time frames. Go on to the 3-day time frames. It's not looking great at the moment, right? Current state of play, we've still got a good 13, 14 hours. If this 3-day candle closes below these wicks, it's going to get pretty, I think, pretty ugly. And the reason being is because we are forming a downtrend pattern, continuation, right? So what do we do next, boys and girls? Well, this is the thing. You need to wait. We need to wait for some historic levels of support. And we're going to map a few out and see what could be happening. Now, I've already kind of half done it for you. As I mentioned, failure to capture this level, not good, right? Continuation. Basically, that black line right now, which I mapped out a while ago, is the important bit now. We need to basically get back over there. We need to get back over there, and that then needs to become a level of support. If it doesn't, there's a high chance, we will probably go and try and retest 37k. Historic levels. If that then does not hold, maybe 34k could come into range, right? If we're looking at these other weekly time frames, just to give you a bit of a level pegging, you can see how these are historic levels. We could also go down to 28k, which I'm not going to suggest just yet, but we could. So just be absolutely careful. Now, why has this happened? Sentiment's dropped off a cliff. Momentum is a bit meh to the downside. And also the dollar is looking strong alongside the dominance of the Tether, DAI, UST and USDC are all going up right now because people are starting to panic, I believe. Now, let's look at this first. I did a video about this saying it could have went both ways, and I was put a little bit of chartception on my Twitter, basically going, well, if you invert it, it looks like it's great. Now, the reason why I said that is because when you do invert this, it looked like a great opportunity to go and continuate the trend. If you go like this, pull up, and then off we go. I think this, if you inverted it, looked more like an opportunity that this was going to go higher. Why? Because you can just see overall that this looked like a natural correction, and we're going to continue going to the upside, right? So when we looked at this as data, you know, it looked like the market just corrected on this, where it was like, right, it's corrected, we're going to probably go higher. Look at the weekly time frame as well. It looks even more obvious that this just looks like a normal market correction. Why? Because when you start putting your fibs on it and going from that level to obviously the top, we've pulled back into this level, and now we've gained strength. The last 3 weeks of this, I think it wants to go higher. which is indication that the market's probably going to go down. But as I said before in that previous video, even if you turn it upside down, it looks a bit... Ugh. So we could have had two situations. Situation A was continuation, right? Continuation, and we're going to carry on going down. But it failed to do that, and we've actually bounced pretty significantly, and we're going to go higher, which is bad for the market because money is going into, as I say, into stable currencies, out of altcoins, out of Bitcoin, etc. So that's one situation. The other one is, again, the dominance chart of BTC. What's happening? Held quite nicely over the last few days, but ultimately we could be actually going back up again. Why? Same metric, right? If money is going out of altcoins, it's going to weigh the dominance of BTC a bit higher. When we look at the higher time frames on here, yeah, I think we could be going up here at some point in the future. As I said, if this goes up, game over. Simple as that. Now, let's look at other things. The dollar. Strong in it. Now, I've said this before on Twitter. I've said it for a while. Do not be looking at technical analysis on this because of we've got all kinds of different metrics. We've got the interest rate, we've got quantitative easing, we've got ultimately inflation rates going through the roof, right? The dollar will be strong for now. Inflation rates and interest rates, and to curb that into a potential recession, if it goes wrong, could mean that dollars and all kinds of cash could be king for a time being because people's investments will be cashed out and panic. Yeah. So the dollar is usually strongest when things go against them. So we can see here, right? You know, if we're looking at like the recession, this was the recession, right? 2008, right? Obviously, unsettling period. We nosedive due to all the stuff to get people out of the shit, basically. And then we kind of went boom, right the way back up to certain levels. Obviously, you got to think post-war as well. You know, 2014, pulled out of Afghanistan into 2015. Yeah. Historic events. And then we've kind of settled in this big arsey range. And now we're near the top of it. But I do think we may well see a couple of months going a little bit higher. Wouldn't surprise me if we do retest these levels. But if we go to the monthly time frame, we could actually go much higher, to be fair, if you're starting to zoom out. So every downtrend on here will be good for crypto. Every uptrend will be bad for crypto. We are incredibly strong on these monthly candles. This monthly time frame kind of situation of the last year looks incredible. So you just got to be very, very careful. So what do we do? As I've said, look at those weekly and monthly levels, right? A lot of Ethereum kind of fans and lovers are looking like this, thinking, oh, it looks great. Reality, it doesn't. I don't think. I think we have formed, if we're looking at this as a situation here, we've got a delay. We've had a rejection of basically 50%, give or take around that point. If I put that fib level on, it's roughly about 50%. If we are going to form a new low here, by the way, and we have had a delay in the merger, that could impact investors' sentiment, right? That could mean we could retest this $2,163 range. We may well go even lower, right? Remember, this is a big level. That level there, 1,400, is the all-time high of the previous run. That, to me, is a huge confluence call to a potential run to the downside for Ethereum, right? The reason why I say that is because past levels may well come into situations, right? They may well come into they may well come into bloody absolute foresight and give you that big old massive level going, you know what? That isn't a bad place to be. But remember to take profits. Remember to accumulate. Remember to look at your market portfolio and go, right, how much do I need? What do I need to have it in? Am I planned enough? Kind of thing. All kinds of situations could happen. But that is obviously a really bearish scenario, right? But don't rule it out. If that happens, if you're going to sell at that point, don't bother. Just don't bother. You should be buying those points, not selling them. But we've also got this level here. For me, there's all kinds of situations with Ethereum. So when we're looking at the bearish sentiment of the market right now, we've got this level here, which is roughly around the $2,000 level. So you're thinking psychological, could be of interest. But obviously we're at 2,900. It's a long way to go, right? So be careful with how you plan this market, right? For me, the dollar is strong and I don't see that changing anytime soon, right? I think the trend looks ridiculously strong. When we look at altcoins, they look relatively bearish because I think a lot of people have got wrecked off a lot of influences by basically flip-flopping between sentiments. Keep it real, keep it simple, look at the data in front of you. For me, when I look at BTC and I'm looking at all the other metrics around it, and looking at all kinds of time frames, I'm seeing strength in the stable coins in dominance going up. The RSI is going down in momentum, and the chart patterns is telling us it is in a downtrend still. So there we go. If you like my stuff, leave it a like. I don't think we're out the woods yet. We've got to hold this level. If we hold this level, it may be okay, but we may be ranging for a bit. But for me, the sentiment is giving us a big clue. People are scared right now. But hey ho, what do I know? I'm just analysing. Speculation. If you like my stuff, as I say, leave it a like. And I'll see you again very, very soon.